Welcome to the California Central Model Railroad Club. We were formed in 1961 and purchased the building that we're in a couple of years after that. This depot was built in 1877 for the South Pacific Coast Narrow Gauge Railroad and later taken over by Southern Pacific, and remained a Southern Pacific depot until it was closed shortly before the club purchased it. Our club has always prided ourselves in trying to be prototypical model railroaders, and we've long enjoyed operating the model railroad in a realistic manner. The layout is not a specific prototype, it's generic, generally Western, because that's the general interest from the members in the layout. Our backdrop was painted by noted railroad artist Mike Gutowski, who's been a longtime member of our club. The scenes range from a coastal scene around through Mount Shasta, through the Arizona desert, and on up into a more mountainous terrain. We don't have a specific era that we're modeling. The original layout started out, we were going to do areas ranging from about the 30s through, at the time, probably the 60s, and our interests through the years have changed and it's gotten much more modernized. It probably generally represents about mid-50s up to not quite the present time. We're probably a little unusual in that the equipment does not stay on the layout. We frequently do themed operations. It may be Southern Pacific, it may just be a particular date, but because the equipment is all off the layout, it's easy to stage the layout with equipment for whatever theme we want to run. We run generally DCC, but we still have the capability of running DC, and some of the members do like to come out and still run DC. We're probably very unusual in the aspect that we do both. Several times a year we will do a full-blown themed operation where we will do car cards, sometimes timetable. There's a variety of schemes that will operate on this layout. It's a point-to-point layout. It operates from Mission Bay up through the highest point on the main line, which is Mount Shasta, and then comes back down to Klamath Junction. At Mount Shasta, it connects with a short line that runs from McLeod, where there's a large cement plant, down to Mount Shasta. Okay, follow along with me. We're going to take Union Pacific 9039, the freight train here. As we leave Mission Bay, we will pass by the Mission Bay Roundhouse and diesel facilities, and the next thing we will pass is Salmonella's, the cannery located out on a wharf. And there's also a pile driver sitting next to it. Both of these were structures built from kits. You may notice an unusual exhaust sound to this locomotive. It was a Union Pacific 412-2. It was a 3-cylinder steam locomotive as opposed to the normal 2. So the exhaust will sound much faster than the locomotive is actually running. The train is now coming around past the mill pond of the Sagan Tree Lumber here in Tuolumne. This mill represents a typical sawmill, probably from the early part of the last century up to maybe the 60s or 70s when mill ponds went away. It also has a narrow gauge railroad running in amongst the lumber drying yard, which was very typical of mills in the past century. Other industries in Tuolumne are a feed mill, packing plant, and a meat packing house. This bridge in front of us is a steel viaduct. It was scratch built many years ago before all the various components were actually available. One of our members was actually producing other kits at the time, and he made the patterns and cast a lot of the parts that this bridge was constructed of. The train is now passing through our town of Aromas, where we have an oil loading facility. The real Aromas is south of San Jose, and it got its name from oil that bubbled up out of the ground, hence the name Aromas or Aromas. The trains now are approaching the town of Weed, where there's a stock pen. The cannabis equipment company is selling tractors, weed seed, and various other industries. This is one of several places that are real switching puzzles, and we have members that have been known to spend basically half a day switching this particular location. The mountain side of our railroad is a single track railroad. In the middle at Weed is a siding, and these two trains are having a meet here. The steam locomotive is going to stop until the diesel-powered freight is in the clear, and then it will proceed on down the hill to Klamath Junction. The train here is entering a rock shed on the outskirts of Klamath Junction. As you can see, the repairmen are busily replacing boards on the rock shed. Okay, our train is now entering Klamath Junction. Klamath Junction is a yard primarily supporting industry in Klamath Junction. It also supports, during our operations, the local that operates from here up to the town of Weed that we just came down from. We have an oil dealer here, a cold storage, a woolen mill, a freight forwarder, and in the area over here behind me is called Keg Pit, and we have a rock bunker and also a cement reload. Our train is now entering the tunnel at the end of the main line. It's a reverse loop with two holding tracks, and we call that particular location Chemult on this layout. We are back at Mount Shasta, and Mount Shasta is the meeting point with the McLeod Railroad, which is operated as a short line railroad. It is dual gauge on most of the track on the McLeod Railroad. The short line's primary function is serving a large cement plant up at McLeod. The train that you will see coming by is a narrow gauge train. Okay, here we see the train passing over a bridge, and the siding here is called Calaveras, and we're passing another one of the scenes on the backdrop painted by Mike Potowski. The train is passing through one of the few unfinished areas of the layout. It's an area we call Pondosa, which eventually will have a log reload and also a whole yard. As we get up to the very end of the line, we're in McLeod, which has primarily a large cement plant and the other structures associated with the short line railroad that runs from the cement plant down to Mount Shasta.
Oh, hello. We're happy that you visited us today and that you took the time to watch this relatively long video, but it's been a lot of fun. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that you will come see us. You can find out how to get to us by looking up the website that's across my chest right now. Thank you and goodbye.